absolutely did, and you can see behind me it's still an active scene right now. We have got police detectives out here working to find surveillance video, talk with witnesses. Also out here, and it was just a few minutes ago, we actually spoke with a family member, and she says she's the cousin of the young man who was killed out here. I want to show you a photo that she shared with us. Take a look. This is Royale, 19 years old, and she says he was the victim out here who died. Now, we also today have been able to talk with witnesses. Just listen to what one witness describes as everything unfolded today around 3:15.
Heard just a rapid succession of shots. It was a crazy volley. I've talked to some other people around, probably around 20 to 30 shots. So not just like a few and done. It kept going. I could hear people yelling for help, saw a person running away, and then saw a car going southbound on 22nd with both doors on the passenger side open.
And again, this happened around 3:15, right at 22nd and Union, near that area. Victims fled in a car after a person or people opened fire, and they drove to Swedish Hospital, Cherry Hill. And again, as we said, one person pronounced dead at the hospital. The two other people, two men, were transported to Harborview and have non-life-threatening injuries. Back out live, you can see that this is an entire block. It's going to be where police will be focusing their efforts throughout the evening. Now, as I mentioned, those victims, they were dropped off at Swedish Cherry Hill. Michael Crowe is following that part of the story, and he had the chance to talk with some family members tonight. Michael.
Yeah, and an active scene here over the last few hours. Family of Royale Lexing have been gathering here trying to see him, and police have been keeping folks back because the hospital has been on a lockdown throughout the afternoon. I'm going to take a step back here so you can get a look. There were much more police here just a little bit ago keeping people back at the tape, and an emotional scene here. We saw a scuffle between family and police as they tried to get inside, and people have been just heartbroken out here. They're gathering for a short prayer over there right now. Here's a little bit of video from earlier today. Here's what we know. 5 people arrived in a vehicle here at Swedish Cherry Hill. 1 was dead on arrival. 2 had sustained serious injuries and were sent to Harborview. 2 others fled the scene. Swedish says this is normal protocol they are following dealing with this kind of situation, which involved putting the hospital on full diversion. That means sending all of the patients to other hospitals. We've been seeing people get diverted from here throughout the day. But an incredibly emotional scene. People are heartbroken talking about this 19-year-old that was killed. Here's what his family shared with us just a few minutes ago.
Poor baby was only 19. He didn't even make it to 20 yet. And I have to go home and tell his brother and sister that their brother isn't gonna come and visit him. And we just need this to stop. Just stop. We got to all come together. It's getting to be out of hand. It's too many young kids getting killed in these streets. We need to do something about it. It's getting to be out of hand.
And again, just an incredible outpouring of emotion here. Many police and many family members have left in the last few minutes, but it's been kind of an overwhelming scene out here throughout the afternoon. And you can see out live here as well that police are actually removing that crime scene tape right now, which I would imagine means they're going to open this back up soon. But many questions remain as to what happened, and we will surely learn more in the coming days as this investigation continues. Live in Seattle, I'm Michael Crowe, King 5 News.